What's going on, everyone? This is Renegade Operative here, and I wanted to talk about the comparison video that I made on Horizon Zero Dawn versus Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, this video, I favored Horizon a lot more. I said the game looks amazing. I really want to pick it up and play it. I'm very interested into the things that they do with it, and there was a lot of innovations and technology and things they were doing with Horizon that I felt was looking better than Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, I know people have reactions to everything. I expected some dislikes, but boy, man, I have got some comments too, and I want to address them. So first thing is first, I wanted to talk about the overall consensus of dislikes. Now, my philosophy on dislikes, and I'm going to make this short, is that I feel as though people, when they see a title or they hear something within the first minute or so, if they don't like that opinion that aligns with theirs, then they're gonna dislike the video. However, I personally feel that this mentality comes with bias because, let's be honest, a lot of people are Nintendo fanboys. A lot of people like Nintendo products, first party exclusives. They will defend that shit to the ends of the earth. So I think that comes with bias. I also think when it comes to these videos, there is a diminished sense of attention span because how many people have hopped on a video on YouTube and they clearly stated, I dislike this because of the title alone. I dislike this because in the first few minutes, you bashed something that I liked. How many people have not listened to reason when it comes to YouTube videos? A lot of people, a lot more than you realize. So I think that diminished sense of attention span really factors in too. And there was a guy on the video saying that I just harped on graphics for the entire time and that's it. But the last 4 minutes I criticized Guerrilla Games. I said that the only thing they have done is Killzone. And that series goes up and down. I played Killzone 1 and I'm going to be honest, that game is not that impressive. So if I can criticize both companies, if I can criticize Nintendo and a Sony company, what makes you think that I am personally biased? I don't understand, people. If you watch the entire video, you will realize I have my reservations too about Horizon. I think the game is going to be too easy. I think that one hit kill melee weapon that Aloy has, I think that weapon is going to be overpowered. And then when you level up, what's the point of challenge? Unless you put it on the very hardest difficulty, then that's the only challenge you might get. But even then, who knows how you can break that game because it's going to be a role-playing game. You level up, you get stronger, you beast shit. You beast through everything. So I'm going to paraphrase a lot of these comments from the video, but people who are saying that I don't do research in my videos, I don't go out there and try to find that information, you are grossly misinformed. I always watch trailers. I do bullet points. I write scripts. I write reviews. I make sure that everything is streamlined and easy to understand. I put in a lot more work than you realize. I do multiple takes. I make sure everything is good and perfect and ready to go for YouTube because I don't like to put out content that I don't like. I try to watch my own content, gauge it, and make sure that everything is okay, everything is fine, and if there is a problem, I go in and try to fix it. So for anyone trying to say I'm not informed about this subject, you are incorrect. So going back to this guy's point, he tried to say that the physics for Zelda Breath of the Wild was superior on every level compared to Horizon Zero Dawn. When I did research on the engine of Zelda Breath of the Wild, when I went there and I looked on Google, I looked everywhere, videos, YouTube, the only thing that I could find was that Monolith is helping out Nintendo with the graphics on Zelda Breath of the Wild. When you compare that information to Horizon Zero Dawn and the development behind that, it's night and day. They talked a lot more about the Decima engine. They talked a lot more about what it does, everything behind it, how it's powering certain games like Death Stranding, Killzone Shadowfall, and Horizon Zero Dawn. a lot of information is floating out there. How those guys at Kojima Productions and Guerrilla Games are improving that engine day in and day out. So you are sitting here and telling me that Zelda Breath of the Wild, they have all this grandiose information about their physics engine when they really don't. I mean, no public information, nothing to back up your claim, nothing out there from a simple search, nothing, zero, nada. Somehow it's just superior. I don't get the logic there. And you're trying to elaborate this point when there's not really much information besides Monolith helping out Nintendo when there's been various videos on what Decima Engine does. Sir, I'm not going to insult you. I just think you're full of crap. Really. You're full of crap on that, because if the graphics engine, if the physics engine of Breath of the Wild is so superior, why is there not any information on it? And plus, we're talking about a game that's on dated hardware already compared to the PS4. I mean, Nintendo did not put out the specs for the Switch. So you must assume that as soon as they are put out there, people are going to have a field day with it because it's going to be underpowered. There's been rumors, there's been, leaks, but in the end, when the specs come out, it's not going to be as powerful as the PS4. This has to be a fact. This has to be a fact because a lot of developers are not putting their games on the Nintendo Switch because it's just not up to snuff. Mass Effect Andromeda is a prime example of this practice. and let's throw out Tekken 7 as well for an example, because that's not coming to the Switch either. Yeah, people. It's not coming out for that. The console you think is so powerful and great and magnificent is not getting the support that it desperately needs. Whew. But let's continue on. What else do we got here that I need to debunk? What else do we got? I'm doing this real time, by the way. Alright, so Zelda Breath of the Wild has more to offer in terms of gameplay than Horizon Zero Dawn. Okay, but in what way? What way does Zelda Breath of the Wild have more gameplay to offer than Horizon Zero Dawn? Because people, every trailer I seen of Zelda Breath of the Wild, it was mostly just fighting these hog-like enemies, finding items, and exploring, which I said in the video. But what I said was that the world seemed empty, and I said that maybe sometime down the line when you get into tombs, the game will pick up when you fight bigger monsters, when you fight bigger bosses, when your life is actually at stake. But Zelda does look hard. That's what I said. I complimented the game on the features that it had. But some people decided to say, I'm going to clock out of the video because there was no positives about Zelda when I complimented the game. I mean, I think people are missing the estimates. No doubt that Zelda is going to be a big game. And I said, the exploration aspect to it leaves something to be desired, but that's not a bad thing. You can probably desire a lot more by playing the game, by progressing, by going into tombs, by fighting enemies, by being in these life or death situations. The game looks challenging. That's a compliment over Horizon. But when you think about Horizon, they talked a lot more about the content publicly, so I have to go off what I saw. There's a rough estimate of side missions that the interviewers have set out there, and they said that there's 200 side missions. You would figure a game that has that big span of time would have a lot of development going into the fun things you could do with your character without the experience becoming repetitive. And Horizon has got nothing but positive praise in every single first impression. So this matters, people. This matters a lot. I think that what's going to happen is Horizon is going to get some reception somewhere. Zelda's going to come out and people are going to compare the game to a lot of other games in the series because it's a franchise. So that's why I said Horizon Zero Dawn being a new IP is good, because it's going to be judged on its own merit when you actually play the game, as opposed to saying this game has like about 6 sequels. Let's pick and choose to see what regressive feature was taken out for this particular entry. People do that. People like to compare and analyze all the time. So this video itself is no different. It's a comparison between two big games, Horizon Zero Dawn and Zelda Breath of the Wild. That's it. And most of it is opinionated. And I think a lot of people missed out on that fact. I said that Zelda Breath of the Wild is going to be a big seller for the Nintendo Switch, because everything out for the Nintendo Switch, in my opinion, looks ass. That launch looks crap. That is the only game that will be worth getting a Switch for. All those other games or whatever, they look like shovelware. And the last two things I want to address is that they have shown a lot of Horizon. They showed a lot of features that you can do in the game. You can upgrade your weapons. You can take every single machine and make it yours. Even these big hulking like machines that you can ride on, like these giraffe type enemies that you can jump on and hack. You can do that. That is incredible compared to Zelda, where you can probably get like a horse or a wolf. You know, you can hack every machine in the world and make it yours. And that's pretty cool. Imagine the combat possibilities there. I mean, there is a lot going on that they talked about, and that's why I favored it over Zelda, because they talked about a lot more information. But that's not to say that game is going to be a slouch. So there are some people that said, you know, graphics don't matter. I agree. But when it comes to comparing something, you're obviously going to talk about what looks better than the other. That's how comparisons work. I don't understand why people are saying, "Oh, you Mr. Negative. You complimented my game, but you Mr. Negative, man. I don't like your videos. Dislike, unsubscribe." If you're gonna be that ignorant and fanboyish, then go ahead and take a hike. But if you're going to be reasonable, listen to what I say, disagree, and actually leave a modest comment, then I'm going to treat you with respect. I mean, shout out to Grotus LP. Grotus LP and Average Broseph. Those are two Nintendo fans that have gave me reasonable comments about this situation. And they watched the video all the way through and they gave their opinion, and I am cool with them. Foundations of Pause, I am cool with him. But people who are just straight up pricks, expect extreme sarcasm, expect snarky remarks, expect me to be a douchebag. If you're going to be a douchebag to me, I'll treat you how you want to be treated. But the people being reasonable, I'll get right in a civil discussion with you. No problem. I just like how people try to say I'm always negative when that's really not the case. I'm only negative to people that are being negative to me when it comes to my channel, my videos, and the way I run things. Don't be an asshole on here, and don't be a fanboy, because I'm just gonna get on you for it. But if you're not, if you're reasonable, you're cool. That's the end of the deal. That's the end of the story. You are free to like, dislike, comment, but the second you pull that trigger, I'm going to pull the trigger on you. That's how I feel about it. And that's how I feel about people either enticing some negativity on my videos and trying to say stuff, and then when I say something back, they get pretty upset and offended. I'm like, well, don't make those comments. We all have agreements, disagreements, but I said what I had to say about Zelda and Horizon Zero Dawn. I know what I'm looking forward to. Good luck to Zelda Breath of the Wild. And that's how I feel about it. So you can like and dislike this video. I will see you guys later. This was my response to the critical reception on my Horizon Zero Dawn and Zelda Breath of the Wild comparison, and I will catch you for the next one. Later.